Now, we all know Superman enemies like to cheat sometimes with the kryptonite, so just in case that happens, he gotta come with an accessory where he pull out the heat if it's necessary. Just a friendly reminder from your boy Animated Heroes, don't forget to check out my boys at Sculptimo Toys for the best figures, best prices, and fastest shipping if you guys haven't already. Let's get into it. Hey yo, look, you guys ever get one of those figures where once you get it in hand and you look at it inside the packaging, you kind of confused on whether you actually wanted it or not, or you just confused about how you feel about the figure in general? That's kind of how I am with this guy right here. Now, starting with that sexy packaging, up top it does say 22 moving parts of articulation. We got MCFarlane Toys and their logo up there. Of course, we got the window packaging with Superman in there looking bulky as hell. We got DC Multiverse Superman written at the bottom. Not much going on the top. On the side, we got Superman the animated series, MCFarlane Toys at the bottom. Same thing on this side, except it's just written a little bit different with MCFarlane Toys still there. Nothing much going on the bottom, just the stuff no one cares about. And then, of course, you do have the cards on the back that showcase the other figures, and we do have McFarlane's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at the bottom. Now, one thing I will say, it's not a major thing, but just to that one person who would want to know, for whatever reason, Superman's trunks are black on the card. I don't see it being a problem, but I know everyone wants to know every little detail. So, yeah, don't know why they did that. Maybe just a color mishap, but yeah, just so you know, it is there. Now, straight out of the packaging, I just gotta say, McFarlane, I see y'all out here trying to come up in this world. I see y'all. Like, this figure had me a little conflicted looking at it in the packaging. But once I got this guy out and got it in hand, man, this is not bad. Like, this is pretty damn cool. And I know just looking at it, you guys won't understand. Like, this is one of those reviews where I feel like to make a full base opinion on this figure, you have to have it in hand. And of course, I'm going to go over everything, but like, this is a figure I specifically bought for the purpose of reviewing, just to give to you guys. Like, this wasn't a figure I bought to add to my collection. Like, I knew I was going to sell this checking out at Walmart with it in my hand, but I might keep this, and we'll see what this guy can do. Let's go ahead and put him back and see how tall he stands so that we can get into everything else. Now, my boy Superman been hitting the gym, but Clark Kent been skipping leg day, man. This dude's legs are super lanky, but to the top of his head, my boy Superman stands right at 7 inches, which is what I think Harley stood at as well. So it's going to be weird when I do size comparisons if these two are eye to eye. But anyway, we'll get into that in just a second. Let's go ahead and take a look at this guy's articulation, because that's what I'm ready for. Now, for articulation, I just got to say, this figure really excels in that department. As you can see, he looks up about that much, looks down about that much before you see the chin tuck. His head can tilt however you want it to, so you can pretty much move this guy however you want. His arms do have a butterfly joint. They go back and forward about that much. You don't really get much forward. As you guys can see, that's about as much as you can bring his arm in. But it does go back pretty far. Now, as far as going out, it goes out about that much. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed, actually that's single jointed, a single jointed elbow. But as you guys can see, if you look, if you bring that in too much, that plastic is actually going to start to bend. So I'd be careful with that because you can actually see it doing so. So yeah, watch that. Now, as far as his hands go, they are on a typical ball peg, so you can move it around pretty much however you want. He does have a diaphragm joint, but you don't really get much out of it as far as crunching forward or back. You really get more out of it turning him left and right, which is unnecessary because you actually can turn him very well at the waist. So it's not like it's necessary, but it's still cool the diaphragm joint is there. Now, as far as his leg goes, he can kick out about that much, kick back about that much, but it does start to go out a little bit. And as far as his legs going out, Superman can do these splits very freaking well. I've never seen Superman kick, but man, if he ever did, he'd probably launch someone. Now, he does have a slight thigh swivel. Like, you don't really get much out of that at all, but you do get very good double jointed knees. They actually look weird when you bend them too much, just because you never really see Superman with his knees bent that much. His foot goes up about that much, down about that much. You do get ankle rocker, and you do get a freaking toe pivot. So I cannot complain. McFarlane, I see y'all guys out here, man. Now, one other thing, just in case you guys want to know, as far as the cape goes, it's a soft plastic, but other than moving it out about that much, you really can't do anything with it, because about right here, it's glued to the back. So, yeah, that's how he is in terms of his articulation, and I can't complain. Now, in terms of accessories, I will say it's lacking a little bit, but you do get this gorgeous Clark Kent face, of course. You get a pair of fist hands. You get a pair of, like, they look like trigger holding hands, man. These look like you put guns in them. You don't get a pair of flight hands, which is what I wish this figure would have came with, because even on the card accessory, if you look, you can see that he has his hands out in a flight pose. So, McFarlane, take notes on that one. But yeah, that's the card that comes with it. And on the back, as you can see, there's a little bio or whatever. Go ahead and pause that if you do want to read it. And then you get this weird accessory that it's him bending like metal. It looks cool. I feel like it would be dope in some of my shots. Not necessarily with this figure, but I mean, it's a cool accessory. I just don't see why it was needed. And lastly, of course, you do get his base, which is just a black base with a peg for his foot, and then of course DC right there at the bottom. So yeah, very light on accessories, but I guess it's effective enough. Now, for some size comparisons, here he is standing next to the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Harley Quinn classic outfit, which I absolutely love. I did just review it. Go check it out if you haven't already. And, of course, the McFarlane Toys My Hero Academia All Might. And I think he fits in well with All Might, but I do think Harley is still a little bit too tall. Next up, here he is standing next to the Batman vs. Alien or Batman vs. Predator. I don't know. I only got Batman from the 2-pack that was released by NECA. And shout out to my boy Justin Berry for this, because I got it from him. And also the NECA Pennywise, whose leg is out because I cannot get this guy to stand up straight. And lastly, just to throw him in with some figures that are of the 6-inch scale, we have him standing next to the Mezco Sovereign Knight Batman and the Justice League SH Figure Arts Batman. And you guys can see he's towering over both of them, even the Mezco figure. So he's not going to fit in scale with these guys, unfortunately. Now, to go back to what I said earlier about me not really wanting this figure, I can honestly take those words back, because McFarlane, with what they had to work with, knocked this figure out of the park. And when I say what they had to work with, what I mean by that is a very specific generic design. Like when we think of Superman or Batman, the animated series, we think of that specific design, which most of the time we get any kind of figures of those characters in those classic uniforms. They're very limited in posability. But for McFarlane to actually not make figures of those characters in those costumes, but to execute them so well with articulation, it's very complimentary, man. Like, I cannot complain. Like, the paint, the detail, the sculpt, it's all there. This literally looks like Superman stepped out of the cartoon. And for McFarlane Toys to be able to execute this so properly, hey, man, congrats. This is 2 for 2. I love Harley a lot more than I thought I was going to, and I love this figure a lot more than I was going to. Now, I did say I was probably not going to keep it, and I'm still probably not, but it's not because I don't like the figure. It's just because I specifically have nothing to pose this guy with just because of his size. But this is a great figure. If you are a fan of Superman, go pick it up. It should go without saying. It has completely blown me out of the water. I'm damn near speechless. But go pick it up. That's really all I can say. I hope you guys did enjoy this review, because this is a figure I actually really enjoyed reviewing. And if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button to show your support for my channel. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. What are you doing? Go ahead and hit that bell icon if you're subscribed, or if you are subscribing. Therefore, you'll be notified whenever I upload new videos. And of course, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below for more content. As always, I will talk to you guys later. Peace. Hit the damn camera.